Saturday, and later this evening we will be going to a birthday party for a friend that's being held at a salsa dance studio. What I wanted to do today was really focus on having all the drama be in a bright pink lip, and the rest of it I'm going to do very minimally. The company Merit Beauty has sent me some more items that I've been able to try out for the last 2 weeks and really see what I think. I'm going to be using a lot of those products and sharing my thoughts. And I'm also going to be using other stuff that's just sort of out and about in my collection and getting ready. Right now, my face is primed and I'm going to start with the Chanel Sublimage. I've been using the color Buff. I don't know how you are all feeling right now. It's early March, spring is almost on the way. I'm really feeling just a general kind of change in my energy. I feel like I have a little more energy than I have had almost all winter. Last weekend, I was on a girls' trip with a group of women that we've been doing this trip for a few years now. This is our 4th year doing it. And it was so nice to spend time with other women who are very busy and have rich lives. Everybody in our group has kind of gone through a lot in the last year since we saw each other. And it was really wonderful to be able to spend time with other people who are kind of on your same vibe, just doing something other than what normal life is like all the time. We tried this group spa activity called a salt room. Has anybody tried this? It's a room that has, the whole floor is covered in loose sea salt. And there's like a good couple of inches on the floor like you're walking on the beach. And then in the room were all of these like zero gravity chairs where you kind of like lay back and float. You go in your street clothes and then they give you a blanket and you can kind of cuddle up, and then they put in the air, they add in like salty air as if you were at the sea, they pump it in. It was a new experience for all of us, and I think we thought we would go into the salt room and maybe just keep chatting and talking, but when we got in the room, all of us got in the chairs and just absolutely passed out. It was the funniest thing, and we were in there for about 45 minutes, and I don't know if people slept or whatever, but it was one of the most relaxing things I'd ever tried. Nobody knows exactly what happened or how it worked, but we all experienced it and really enjoyed it. Have you ever tried anything like this? It was really interesting. Merit Beauty recently reached out and offered to let me pick out a couple of products from their line that I hadn't tried and receive them in PR and review them here, so I'm doing that now. I wanted to try the Merit Minimalist Perfecting Complexion Foundation and Concealer Stick. I chose it in the shade Linen, and this retails for about $38. You can see that this is a pretty good match for my skin. I was really happy about that. I struggle sometimes to find a good match. I tend to like what is ever neutral. The neutral products seem to serve me best. So I selected Linen, which they describe as light with neutral undertones. That's generally a pretty safe bet. I felt like it worked pretty well. So this is a concealer stick that you can just sort of use and apply on. I'm gonna put a little bit under my eyes where I have a little bit of blueness showing through from my veins. And I'm going to use a dense concealer brush just to brush that out. I have really liked this. I find that I get a nice brightening effect under my eyes, and it's really well pigmented, so you don't need very much. It is a little bit of a drier formula. It feels like maybe it even has like a little bit of clay in it. It's not an emollient formula like the Glossier Stretch Concealer. It's a lot drier than that and a lot thicker, but I do find that it becomes one with the skin, and I have tried a few times wearing this and nothing else, like no other concealer or no other foundation, and I found that it actually does work pretty well. I know one person in particular who is a friend of mine who watches has been asking me about this, so I think that looks good. Those two products together I think work pretty well, the Sublimage and the Merit Concealer Stick. The other thing that it's good for sometimes is if you go a little too far with the blush, you can use this just like any other concealer, I guess, but you can really easily draw a nice sharp line here if you want to clean up the lines on your face. The way this applies is really convenient. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit for a minute and do eyebrows next. To just pop on a little eye primer. We're gonna come back to the eyes in a little bit. Before we get there, I am gonna put a little bit of blush on. So one of the products that Merit offered to send me was their blush balm. They let me pick out a color, and I chose the color Beverly Hills. This is a balm format product. This is a color that I like very much. It's extremely subtle. I find it flattering on me. I'm going to use this one today. I'm going to show you applying it two ways. So on this side, I'm just going to apply it directly from the container right onto the skin. And then I'm going to blend it out with a brush. You can see how smooth that really is. The other way that you can apply this is just to go directly onto the container with a brush. It also just maybe keeps things a little bit cleaner. But either way, I think it applies beautifully. The color is really subtle, Beverly Hills is on me, and I think it does end up giving a nice skin-like finish. It's a little balmy, so it does shine back. Can you see that a little bit? I think it's really nice. I think it plays well with their highlighter stick. Something they sent me before. This brand, Merit, has been so generous to send me these products as a small YouTuber, and I have really liked these products. They go well, I think, with mature skin. I'm 44 and I have some fine lines and some not so fine lines, general texture, and I find that these products seem really comfortable on the skin. I don't think they enhance any of those signs of aging, but they also, move with it. I think they overall provide a general vibe of health. I've been enjoying all of them. I did share my little highlighter stick with one of my friends, the one I was rooming with, and she, I think, is gonna go ahead and pick this up. She tried it and really liked it. I have it in the shade Bounce. The formula really does pair beautifully with the blush formula. I'm gonna go right into the lips. For the last couple of weeks, what I've really wanted to do is wear bright pink lipstick. I don't know if it's because winter is ending and my skin is particularly pale and I'm just looking for that pop of color. I kind of am craving it. I pulled a couple of these out. The lipsticks I have in front of me that I wanted to consider trying today. I have an extremely old bullet of NARS Scap. I also have in the Pat McGrath Labs Lip Fetish Divinyl, I have the color Boudoir Rose, maybe Boudoir Rose. The Glossier Ultra Lip shade Portrait is a lovely sheer pink. It's so similar to the Boudoir Rose, but it is slightly oranger. And then finally, from Rare Beauty, I have one of the lip souffles, and this is in the shade Motivate. This is like a strawberry pink, really pretty. It comes out like a lip gloss. It applies like a moussey formula. It's really easy to wear and to blend out. And finally, I have one more Pat McGrath Labs. This is more of a traditional lipstick. This is the shade Amour, and this is in her matte trance formula. It's quite matte thick. So these are all really different. I was originally thinking I might do the NARS one, but then I went ahead and painted my nails this OPI's Cajun Shrimp. It's so bright and so orange that I feel like it's pushing me into one of the warmer tones. So I'm going to use the Rare Beauty Lip Soufflé, but before I do that, I'm just gonna put a little lip liner. My lip liner, I'm using Pat McGrath's Suburbia. I really like these souffle formulas. I find that they're kind of blurring and diffusing. I feel like you can get a nice bold matte lip effect without it looking too dry. It manages to stay kind of feathery and moussey. I hope you can see what I'm talking about. I feel like the pink lip just like brings all the life back into my face. I really like how my face is looking right now. I really do feel like I look healthy and bright and energetic. So I'm gonna keep the eyes really, really low key. I know I always say that and then I go crazy, but I'm gonna try this time. What I have here is just a set of 5 shades that I pulled out of the Natasha Denona Biba palette. These are all 3 shades that come from the Biba palette. This is the lightest gray. This one I think is called Tusk, and this is maybe Monroe. And then these 2 shades are from the Natasha Denona Camel palette. It's the lightest and darkest shades in the Camel palette. This is shadow brush from the Patrick Ta line, and I like this one so much I ended up buying a second one. I'm also going to dip into the Natasha Denona Mini Zendo just to get this light pink. I like this shade right on the inner corner, especially if I'm wearing a pink look. Okay, so the other thing that happened recently that was really fun is that I got to be kind of like an extra on an HGTV home reno program. I don't know if you guys watch those shows, but my mom turned me on to a show called Bargain Block. And Bargain Block films in Detroit, where I live. I'm in Detroit, and she got me into watching the show. And one day I was just doing all the laundry in the house at the same time, and I sat down in front of HGTV. Oops, shoot. So anyway, my mom got me into watching Bargain Block, and I was sitting at home and I was binge watching this folding laundry, and I looked up and I noticed a woman that I know from work on the show. I freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh. Reached out to her and I said, did I just see you on HGTV? Are you a TV star? And she laughed and said that she knew some of the people involved with making the show, and if I ever wanted to be on it and attend one of their open houses, just to let her know, and she would try to get me on the show. And I was like, I would love to do that. And it took about a year, but after about a year, they were filming their next season that's coming up. It'll air in the fall. And what they do is they have these open houses. So they finish up a house, and then they hold an open house, and then they invite people to come in and look, and they film them with their reactions, like, wow, looks great, or whatever. And so that's what I got to do. I got to be one of the like nosy neighbors who comes into the open house to see the progress on their renovation, and it looked so good. It was really, really fun. They let me take this picture and said I could post it to social, so I'm just gonna post it up here, but this is me with the Bargain Block people. Anyway, that was really fun, and when I was getting ready to go on the show, you know, they just take you as you are. Whatever you're wearing, whatever you've got on your face, that's what it is. They don't do anything to you. So it's kind of on me to put myself together. And I did actually use mostly these Merit products because I wanted to appear like a normal person, not necessarily like, you know, I'd been made up to be the star of the show. I wanted to look like myself, and so that was the makeup that I chose, to look polished and put together and to be on what could be national/international TV. To give myself a little bit of powder, Kosas Cloud Set, just to take down a little bit of my oils that are coming in, but try not to interfere with the highlighter. I like the Kosas powder because I do feel like it does preserve the highlight. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I think it looks pretty cute. It isn't necessarily perfect, but like I said, I'm going to be dancing, and if this does get a little bit smeary or whatever, I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. It looks pretty natural, but it's still festive and fun, and I do feel like I have a lot of energy in my face because of this pink lip, which is what I was looking for, so I'm very happy with this. Well, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me while I put on some makeup to go to a birthday party. If you enjoyed this video and you're not already subscribed, please do consider joining. If not, that's fine too. I'm just happy that you spent time with me here on my channel. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well out there, and I hope you have a great week ahead. Thank you so much for watching. Talk soon.